Happy New Year. It's January 22nd, and I'm Judy Utah, and I chair the Autism and Entertainment Work Group, and we're excited about today's webinar on careers in stop motion animation. A little bit about us. We started meeting back in 2022 with the mission of increasing employment for work-ready autistic talent in the entertainment industry. And we do that by having employers rethink what inclusivity means and include neuro-inclusivity. So we want to enhance the autism brand and have people see the talent and skills that people on the spectrum have in the entertainment space. There's a lot of resources out there to help individuals on the spectrum get employment, and we want organizations to understand things like internships and grants that are available to help employ people on the spectrum. And then finally, for people on the spectrum, to help them navigate their own careers. Nobody's career is the same, and you're going to learn about a number of people today who have careers in stop motion animation. The way we fund ourselves is through membership. And so there's individual memberships, there's membership for educational partners, and there's a lot of benefits in supporting us, but also giving you access to things that are special, such as participating in private discussions after our webinar. And today we have 3 people that are interested in talking to you after, but only Robert applied. So I am going to be on the hunt during the webinar to find other people who are interested in having a conversation with Marlene. Who was it that was happy to do it? I think it was Kelli.
Tawd, Kelli Bixler, Tawd Dorenfeld, Kelli Bixler, and Tamara Finlay.
Tamara. So anyway, Kelli and Tamara are available for a 15-minute private discussion after. So if you are interested in doing having a private conversation after the webinar, just write me in the chat, and I will I'll be looking for people who are interested. With that, I'm really happy to present my good friend Marlene Sharp, who's going to introduce our panel today.
Hey everyone. Hey Marlene.
Hello. Hi, Robert. Hello, friends. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Hi, IKEA. Oh, I see so many familiar names and faces. Hi, Andreas. And of course, hi to our panelists, Kelli Bixler, Tawd Dorenfeld, Vadim Govorov, and Tamara Finlay. Yay, this is the stop motion animation panel. So it's not K-pop Demon Hunter sing-along yet. That might be the next webinar. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. They are nominated for many Oscars today. Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing
I will try my darndest. Oh yes, it's incredible. It's really quite inspiring too. But that's fodder for another webinar. So fingers crossed that we can make that happen sometime in the near future. But today we're talking about stop motion animation, and I think most of you have an idea of what stop motion animation is, but we will take a stab at trying to define it and also identifying where it's used commercially, because it's not just for entertainment. You can use the principles of stop motion for all kinds of things. And also, we will be talking to leaders in this field, this very specialized, highly meticulously put together art form, and also kind of a science too. So we're going to start with introductions of all of our panelists, and I'll just call on the panelists randomly, and you can tell us your whole life story in 3 minutes or less. How about that? And I should probably say I'm Marlene Sharp. I work with Judy Utah in Autism and Entertainment. I'm a producer, an animation producer, and also producer of live action and other kinds of content too. But I work closely with the autism community, and I also head the TV Academy's Disability, Accessibility, and Neurodiversity Affinity Group. So, the reason why my picture does not align with the face that you see talking is because my Zooms are all commingled with the Academy stuff that I do and a lot of different hats that I wear. So, okay, enough about me. Let's go on. Let's get the introduction of Kelli Bixler from BixPix. Kelli,
Hi. Yes.
you're
Hi.
on.
Hi. Hi,
Welcome.
everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is lovely. Um, okay, about me. I started out as I actually went to school to produce film and television, and I started as a live action director in Chicago, Illinois, and I was a live action director for about 12 years. And on the last job I did, I had to match my live action characters with what they were doing in animation. And the artist who was doing it was also sculpting these little characters. And I was like, what are you doing? Those are so exciting. And he goes, well, I do stop motion in my basement. And I'm like, oh, you mean like Gumby? And he goes, yes, exactly. And so at that time, I was actually coming out to LA and, trying to pitch all these creative ideas that I had, and with 1,000 other people in live action. And I thought, maybe an idea of mine could fit in this stop motion medium. And so he was game to come on, and we made a little short, and we went to NATB, which is a big convention where people go and take their shows to be sold, and knowing nothing about it and nothing really about stop motion. And 3 years later, at that event, we met folks at Disney. And 3 years later, we sold an original series to an interstitial series to the Disney Channel. And that started BixPix Entertainment. And then we just kept getting more and more clients out in California. And in 2006, we moved the studio from Chicago out here in lovely Burbank, California. And we have done stop motion since then. Gosh, over 25 years now, we've been in business, luckily. And we do television series. I guess our claim to fame is Tumbleleaf. It's a preschool series. It's on Amazon. And we finished just a couple years ago, and they just released the second season last August of Shape Island, which is on Apple TV. But the exciting thing is that we really do anything that comes our way. We just finished a Super Bowl spot over the holidays that we did, and we're doing a feature film on Tumbleleaf in hopes to get into production next year. So stop motion art form that I, for many years, have wanted the world to recognize as much as they recognize CG animation. I think its time has come, and hopefully, oh my gosh, I see an Adventure Time fellow out there with a hat on. So I love it. So we did an Adventure Time special in stop motion with a lovely Kirsten Lepore as a director. She came into the studio and wanted us to bring it to life, and we were lucky enough to do that, and it got great reviews. So yay to Adventure Time. Anyway, that's me. Was that under 3 minutes? I
Kelli,
don't think so.
oh, yeah, that's okay because you covered a lot of ground. And might that be the great and powerful Chuck Peel that you're referring to with the cap on and the
I guess
recognizable face?
I
There you
don't know
go.
about the great and powerful. Now, big?
Oh, yes. There
Yeah,
you are at the top of my screen. So you absolutely are.
I got
Yes.
it.
Chuck Peel is a very distinguished guest, everyone, and a surprise guest at that. He's on our advisory board,
Cool.
and he is a very distinguished employee of Real Effects. Many of you have probably heard or seen the credit of Real Effects in some of your favorite movies, Disney and otherwise. And so we're very fortunate to have this bonus guest in
I'm
Chuck.
I'm
Although Chuck,
literally here. I want to hear Kelly and the team talk That's why I'm here. What you guys do is amazing.
Well, thank
So,
you.
Thank
too,
you.
That's
that's why I'm
great.
here.
Well,
Awesome.
God, well, Tawd, maybe we'll segue into you next.
Okay.
Just because you're smiling and you look excited.
I'm Tawd Dorenfeld. My career is has way too many things in it to do in 3 minutes, but it's a bazillion music videos, a ton of feature films, and I started an organization called Tink, Animate, where we mentor and produce artists on the autism spectrum in the arts of storytelling. So we show you that you can tell a story, and then from that simple story that you just now know that you can tell, then we're going to figure out what your strength is and then how you should turn that into something. And then we just do absolutely everything. Tamara works with us. And we do all the animations, all the arts. And if you can tell a story, we show you how to do it. My love of stop motion is a little different than most stop motion people, is because I'm not about stop motion. I'm just about motion pictures. Stop motion happens to be, if you ask me, and I have a lot of proof to prove it, it's the cheapest of all the motion picture art forms. If you really want to do big stuff, you want to make Star Wars, do not make a live action movie, make it in stop motion, and you will spend 0.5% of their budget. So stop motion allows you to just make everything that you ever wanted to make. And then it doesn't even matter if you know how to make a doll or a puppet. You can animate anything. Everything is animatable. And so therefore, everything's at the palm of your hands. And then you also don't have anybody telling you what to do. You also don't have actors that don't show up on time. There's a lot about stop motion that makes movie making super easy, where other people think it's, oh gosh, stop motion is so hard and complex. And they even started off, oh, it's a science. It is not a science. There's 24 frames in a second. You cannot do anything else. You're stuck with that. So it's done. It's everything else we're just all figuring out how to do. We share secrets with each other. That's it. And it's super fun. That's my pitch.
Tawd, could you just add one little
Sorry.
Could you just add one little bit about your work with Exceptional Minds in the past? Because we probably have
so
some
you guys know
Exceptional Minds students.
So I started working at the Exceptional Minds found me because I was working with some autistic animators. And then I started working at Exceptional Minds and found that, I'm going to be honest, found that you guys, you neurodivergent individuals, are way better at making your own stuff than making other people's stuff. And so I went against the grain of Exceptional Minds, and I started teaching people not to make other people's stuff, not to learn not to learn how to animate, but to learn how to make movies. And I did that for a little bit, and then I spoke with Exceptional Minds about me breaking off and creating Tink Animate, because that's all I wanted to focus on. So I'm a little different in this group, but employment is an important thing. I have employed animators, right, throughout my career. I have been employed as an animator in my career. I just personally believe that if you have something to say, then animation is your way of being able to do it without anybody else stopping you or telling you you can or can't do it or giving you the money to do it. So I just always say, hey, put your best foot forward, make your stuff, then let people hire you down the line. So that's just, yeah.
Good advice. Tamara, since you collaborate with Tawd, maybe you should be next.
And we're both in Detroit, Michigan.
That's right.
A place you would never imagine stop motion to be. And before she comes on, I gotta pitch Detroit, because some people here know some other people. So we're not the only two super professional stop motion animators that reside, and love Detroit. We also have Kevin Coyle lives here. He runs the stop motion department at the College of Creative Arts here. He's worked on the PJs. I think he's probably worked for you, Kelly. Right? He's worked for everybody, right? So, and what he turns out such great stop motion animators that they now come to our studio and just make animation all the time. So we're kind of like, Detroit's a special new place. The Midwest is coming back, Kelly. Come back to Chicago.
I would love to come back to Chicago. I still have a home in Chicago, so I'm going to die in Chicago. So there.
There you go. Very good.
But Detroit's beautiful. It was not the Detroit that was, 20 years ago, not even 10 years ago. It's just a beautiful city.
It's an amazing place now. Well, Tamara, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. My name's Tamara Finlay. I am a stop motion. I don't know. I kind of consider myself more of like a auteur, like Tawd. I came from a musical background. Actually, my parents are both opera singers, and I grew up performing. But being neurodivergent myself, didn't particularly love being perceived. So I tried my hand at animating a music video for myself, and I had always been into tactile arts like sculpture, and found that voila, all of the skills that seemed unrelated throughout my entire life all of a sudden married into this art form that allowed me to express myself more perfectly and dynamically than I'd ever been able to in my life prior to that. So I fell in love. Like Kelly said, once you find stop motion, that's it. It was my big aha moment. And since then, I've been using this art form to tell stories about neurodivergent perspectives, my own childhood growing up undiagnosed, and also stories about my Ukrainian immigrant family. So I'm currently developing a series about my Baba, my grandmother, who was just the most brazen, outlandish lady I've ever known, like stranger than fiction. And her stories lend themselves so well to stop motion. So I kind of lean into my performance background in her acting and the voiceovers, and my music background allows me to do like the scoring and the sound and stuff. So I have this a very holistic practice. I'm also a 2024 Kresge Fellow for film and animation.
Wow, very impressive. And coincidentally, or maybe not, we have another Ukrainian on our panel today, and that's Vadim Govorov. And another stop motion auteur, because he creates his own characters and so forth. And Vadim and I have collaborated on a few projects now. Most notably, I'm going to shout out the podcast that we're working on called Mama's Boys. And Vadim contributed heavily to this adorable promo piece that we did for the podcast. And we actually have two Autism and Entertainment members working with us on the podcast as well. Some of you might know Tyler Berman and Chelsea Darnell, and they're both doing double duty on the podcast. So everything's all interconnected. The Chelsea and Tyler are doing voices, and then Tyler is editing, and Chelsea is a writer's assistant. And so Vadim is part of that number, and he's got so many other characters and things going on. And he is a commercial diver, and somehow he manages to weave commercial diving and sculpting and graphic novel writing and all those things together. So Vadim, take it away.
Yes, all right, so thank you for having me. And yeah, I am Ukrainian. I was born and raised in Kiev, and I left like 100 years ago. But I was doing stop motion animation since I was 6 years old, only without the camera present. So I was making my own figurines, toys out of the clay. Discovered it accidentally. I was a kid in a kindergarten, and somebody brought the displays from the older children, like different artwork, like paintings, dioramas, and one of them is really caught my attention was the sculptures, little like a scene in the forest, little bear, fox, little nuts, porcupine, and all that. And it was just to me something unusual. I've never seen it before, and I was really fascinated by that. And it started kind of as a little bit of in a criminal way, because I was sneaking up during siesta, because we have like 2 hours sleep time after lunch, and I would sneak in there in the art room, and I would start demolishing the display, picking pieces of the took the ears of the fox, tail of the wolf, apple from the porcupine, and that as little by little every day I would sneak up and take a pieces, and then people noticed it, and they said somebody's vandalizing a display, and they couldn't catch who it was. And I was playing, and I was going to bed, playing with the thing, at the ball of clay got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I would hide under the bed of the frame, the metal frame. And one night, I guess I fell asleep with that thing, and I woke up, and it was in my hair. So it was like fused in my hair, and they saw right away, oh, who did it? So they grabbed me, took me to a principal's office, trying to get it out, and wouldn't work. Now they said they're gonna cut my hair, but my hair was, untouchable. My mom used to take me to her own hairdresser. So once I saw scissors come out, I told no, call my lawyer. So they called my mother. She came in. I thought they're gonna get ass whooping, but turned out to be okay. She took me to the art store right away. She said, "Go ahead." Rodin. She called me Rodin, and after that, I was just making my own toys, because toys were hard to find back in late 70s and all that. Up in Russia, and all that was Russia, and I just started reading. I read my father's library, and Treasure Island. That was my first book I read, Jules Verne, and I just started making characters out of the clay, Play-Doh. And I was playing with it, and that's how it started. And then I started making special orders. When I grew up a little bit older, I found clay I can bake in the oven, and that was my therapy. But I am commercial diver. I travel around the world. I do some diving work, but this was always my therapy. Just so I go home and I make something. If something comes to mind, ideas, and that's how it started. And I'm still doing it. I have a little studio where I sculpt the figurines. And and I met Marlene, and that's when to start doing with for her. It's like figurines for her, and I started doing some of the cartoons, and I started doing drawings. Right now I'm doing a graphic novel about Robot Ninja. That's me,
That's
Robot
him.
Ninja, and that's it. Yeah, it's happening. Something's happening. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vadim and I actually met through a very distinguished gentleman in the toy business, Richard Gottlieb, who has passed away. But I'm a toy lover, but I don't create toys. I just buy them. And so and I also write about them, and I work in merchandise-driven entertainment. But Richard knew me, and he knew Vadim, and he was a visionary who decided that Vadim and I needed to meet and collaborate. And so he introduced us. And then sadly, he passed away about a year after that. But it was almost like he had this premonition that it would be a great collaboration, and it has been. And so, but it's interesting that someone through the toy business, because Vadim was also making clay figurines and then having them mass produced in China as collectible toys. And so he came to stop motion first through the toy business, and then the animation business. So we can talk some more about that. But for the panelists, let's come up with a working definition of stop motion. What exactly is it? Does it include any of the software that we know about, or is it strictly just making stuff or posing found objects, or what do you consider to be stop motion?
Well, you're asking any of us specifically?
Yeah,
you want all of our opinions.
Well, whoever wants to jump in, we're very casual here, so whoever wants to opine, please go ahead.
It's as easy as you take a picture, you make it object move. You take another picture, you make the object move. Now, that's it. There's nothing else to stop motion. That's all stop motion is. There's no fancy. There are programs, but they're not making stop motion. The only thing that makes stop motion is that you take a picture, you make something move, you take another picture, you make something move. So, and then you have those pictures together in a film reel or video reel, whatever it is. You could even remember the old, you spin it like this. I'm forgetting. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, not a jukebox, but an old arcade. And it's flipping the pictures. That's stop motion because it's one picture at a time. It's also motion pictures because motion pictures are just one picture at a time. The stop motion is that we only take one picture and move the object. I don't think there's anything more. If you guys want to have something, but
No, that's pretty much it. And I always say it's like a flip book. So
Yeah.
if you're a drawer, and you're drawing and you flip a book and your images move. But the difference is that, we are three-dimensional, so a lot of it is I think stop motion is more like live action than really animation because you're dealing with physical objects, I mean, I can take this water bottle and the way I make it move, it could make you cry, just in the way it moves. And that's what's so fascinating about stop motion is because you learn that movement, is emotional, and that affects everything. That's a way of storytelling. So that's what's so cool about it.
It's early. Well, I guess we're almost at the halfway mark, but we have a question from Jonathan Puga, who's been waiting patiently. Let's just go ahead and take it. Jonathan, what is your question?
About what kind of thing you said about materials for stop motion. I love stop motion, and I actually did a video with stop motion for my studio.
And what is your video? What is it? What is it called?
It was a promo I was working on for our Halloween party. I made a haunted studio promo, which I volunteered my friends not just in costumes, but I also did some stop motion effects by using Halloween decorations, toys, puppets, and anything I use to make it look like stop motion.
Magnificent. Congrats. I'm sure it was a beautiful work of art. So many found objects. We've got two more questions. Great. People are engaged. IKEA, what is your question?
So, stop motion. I have a lot of a lot of objects that I collected over the years, like clay. I made some clay figures. I've had different things given to me, like toys and stuff like that I plan on using. I wanted to make a whole stop motion movie about a game show that I made up based on film terminology and stuff like that. What is your advice on how to? I don't have a lot of money, so how would there be advice to hire a crew? What kind of advice do you have if I have to give the crew something in return for helping me?
Well, first, it's stop motion, so maybe you don't need a crew. Maybe you can do it.
Okay.
Because you know how to turn a light on, right?
Yeah.
Right, and you know how to put a camera on a tripod, right?
Right.
And take a picture, right?
Right.
And you also know how to make something move, right?
Yep.
That's the whole crew right there. You just saved all your money.
We also have a great suggestion from a legendary figure in the animation business, Pamela Thompson, whom I know from Women in Animation. She's a recruiter, a creative artist herself, a children's book author. So Pamela, welcome and thank you for joining us. And Pamela has a suggestion in that IKEA, you might consider finding animation students at schools or clubs or women in animation, for example. You don't have to be a student. You just need to love animation and be open to the fact that women want to work in animation just like men do. And Women in Animation has a big community group on LinkedIn. We have almost 30,000 members, and people oftentimes post about their projects on the community page and say, hey, I need crew members for this project. It's on a volunteer basis. Sometimes people will advertise jobs, paying jobs there, but that might be a place for you to look as well for potential crew members.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And let's see, Ivana, you have a question. What is your question, Ivana?
Okay. So I have done illustration and graphic design work in the past, and I incorporated my talent with that. And just lately, I've been getting better at animating stuff on a computer to increase my skills and talent in art. So my question is, like, when it comes to animating stuff and being creative in that, and you want to go at your own pace with too much stress, what is the best advice that you could possibly give to starters?
So I know that feeling so well. And one of the things that I have found really effective in managing workflows and stress just from being overstimulated a lot of the time is one thing I will do is I will ride a good hyper focus, but not to the point where I'm neglecting my own physical and external needs. So you kind of have to know when you need to rest and reset. If you start to feel like your eyes are getting tired, if you start to feel like your body's getting sore, and that can be difficult for us because we don't always receive those cues. But if you have any inkling that they're knocking, then you need to stop and step back. Or if you find yourself that your frustration tolerance is lowering and you're starting to find yourself getting kind of pissed off at the scene that you're shooting, it's time to stop and maybe have a snack or a nap. And I've also found that ChatGPT has been very valuable for me in managing my workloads. I do not use AI personally for creating art, but I do use it for managing my workflows. And as a personal assistant, it has been a game changer for me as a neurodivergent artist to just have that touchstone to say, okay, I'm having a hard time figuring out even how to like communicate an email with like a collaborator or a client or something like that, to help me with my language, to help me figure out which of these tasks is the most important for me right now. Or when I, in every step of my process as I'm creating, if I have questions on editing, and that answers Ikea's question too, I think, about how to parcel out all these tasks. You can learn them, and you can collaborate with something like ChatGPT to learn those tasks. I can't tell you how often I'm kind of a baby editor. So when I'm editing something, I go, all right, you need to walk me through the process of how to, do an easy ease on this shot, so stuff, all of the skills that you're trying to acquire. You got YouTube, you got all sorts of ways of doing that, but don't try to do it all at once. Little bites. That's how you eat an elephant.
Mm-hmm. And also, speaking of AI, Vadim uses AI for the animation process. I know that there's conflicting views on AI and how it's best exploited in especially in terms of animation. But Vadim, it's been very helpful to you, right, in your process?
Yes. AI, yeah, I wouldn't use it. It's just very. I mean, it helps just create. It only like a 6 seconds videos, right? It makes only 6 seconds little motion things, but they're just enough to animate to show the situation and how people are moving and stuff. But I was I'm looking to get into the stop motion for real. I have to find out what's the best camera, what's how to get the equipment and all that. And my friend Maxwell, that's in he's in California. I tried to get it. Make it there, and he's waiting. He's ready to work. He's really good. He helped me a lot in the past when we lived in New York together, and he was my tenant. I was, and then we become friends, and he is into movies. He makes documentaries. He makes we made several short movies, short films, which went won some awards. But he helped me a lot. But I've seen how difficult it is, this moving, the thing you have to move, and it just deforms and everything, and you have to it's a lengthy process. It's just patience. I think the patience, that's the key here, because I'm a patient guy, but
I have no patience. I totally disagree. That's why I love stop motion. You don't get it. No, patience is for you hand-drawn animators. Stop motion, you don't get to go backwards. There's no command Z. You mess up, you mess up. So you don't get to mess up, and you just got to go straight forward. Yeah. And I'm a person that everyone says I have the most patience in the world. I want to get to the end. So don't worry. Throw all that fear out, Vadim. It needs no patience.
Yeah, I found the way. I have found a way to how to do it, because I do some parts. Some parts I do hard, rigid, so they don't squish, they don't deform. Some parts I make soft, and you cannot tell the difference, right? But it helps a lot. So I'm getting into it because I have several movie scripts that I wrote, and I have so many stories from, listen, I travel the world. I've seen so many things, and I want to say so many stories. But it's so hard to find somebody to make but in emotion and stop motion animation, I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna full blast in that. I'm gonna start telling my stories in the stop motion animation. Yeah, I think this is the way for me to express myself and tell the world my stories now, because I have a lot. Of interesting stories, I want to tell, and that will happen. Yeah.
That's a good point, Vadim. Telling your own stories versus working for a client.
Yeah, why should I? Because you know how many times you sending it, you calling you begging people, hey, look at my script, look at my story, read my book, and you can hear it, everybody hunting and moaning, and they don't know what to. I just do it myself, Now it's the time I can do it myself, I'm thinking, yes, screw that, I'll do it myself. I don't have to depend on anybody, All I need is a camera, and like I said, I'll just start doing it myself. That's all. Yeah.
Kelli, maybe you could talk a little bit about how it is when you work with a client, because I'm guessing Apple TV is the commissioning agent or your client in the case of these major projects you're working on. And there are a lot of rules to working with a client, to say the least.
Yes, there are. We've been very lucky to actually sell some original things that we've done. We're original IP people, but also get an incredible amount of work for hire, and they're completely different. And we like work for hire because it teaches us how to collaborate, and also you are presented with material that you wouldn't have thought of, and you have to figure out how to do it because it didn't come from your brain and you haven't visualized it. And so it's a whole new kind of set of tools that you have to use for it. And then there's also, notes. And when you have clients, you have notes, massive amounts of notes that actually can make your head spin. Talk about frustration and wanting to wring people's necks. But what we've learned is that everybody has an opinion. Okay, everybody needs to share that opinion and to feel that they are heard. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do the note, but you have to respectively listen to the note and understand where it's coming from, and then find a workaround so that you can make them feel very good about giving that note, but also stay true to the fact that you know what's best about finishing the end product in the vision that is of the whole piece. So, that's my very diplomatic way of addressing working for clients.
Yes,
Kelli, do you, and this might be a trade secret that we don't want to spread, but I love telling trade secrets to everybody because
please.
they're secrets. Kelli, do you ever put 3 mistakes in your project so that they give you notes on those 3 mistakes so that you don't have to do the other notes?
We don't.
Oh,
But
okay.
we actually but we haven't addressed notes. And what's really funny about choosing the notes to address and the notes not to address, well, first of all, I think every artist needs to understand that everything is not precious. Okay, it is what we do is a collaboration. It's an art form that is collaborative. At the end, and to your point, Tawd, I love that we can make movies totally by ourselves and we don't have to have any of this involvement. But when you do have the involvement, you do have to be respectful and actually have ideas and a lot of ideas are amazing. And that's what makes your piece even better, to find out what ideas actually will improve it and use those ideas. But I lost my train of thought. Where was I going?
Just
But
about following notes and validating people's opinions, I guess.
yes,
That's
exactly.
the most important thing, rather than getting the
But
instruction to the letter.
exactly. But what's funny is that the notes that we didn't do, once they go into a second review, they don't have those notes anymore because we've probably changed the one thing that made those other notes, you know, not even, apparent anymore. So it all kind of fits together. So it's a learning process. You kind of have to figure it out. I mean, on Tumbleleaf, we had 4 seasons and different executives on all those seasons, and you just kind of have to learn, what people are concerned about and figure out a way around it, and also take their notes. Some of them are good. You just never know.
Kelli, did you ever work with a toy company as a stakeholder?
I did, well, commercial work is a lot like that because, they're so concerned about their product and their product is in, every shot. We did a development thing for Mattel and we learned that their dolls are God. And so we couldn't mess with their dolls, okay? And so that was a great learning experience. And we just recently did a commercial again with Mattel and it's so interesting because like the love I have for stop motion, they have for their merchandise, and which is really very valid and wonderful, but it's so funny that you have 20 adults, looking at this doll and saying, "Oh my goodness, I don't think her skirt matches her color of her eyes, and it should." So so it's just a different way of looking at everything. Yeah.
It's not funny to me, Kelli. I don't know if you can see my giant childhood dollhouse behind. It's got a cover on it.
I
I've
love it.
got Barbies. I've got McDonald's Happy Meal toys. I've got
Awesome.
Sonic the Hedgehog soap. I've got so all these things are part of work and play
Yes,
for me.
totally.
So when it's
Totally.
commingled, it's hard to be objective. Like when it's your work and your passion, the stakes are so high.
True. Very
So
true.
high. Well, gosh, the questions there are lots of hands raised, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start calling on people again. There's one called Options for All. I'm not sure who that is asking the question, but hello, Options for All. Would you like to? Hello. Oh, there's many. Okay.
Yeah, asking a question. I'm going first, ET. Actually, I have I'm in Option for All. Hi, it's Family Media. But I have a question. Where to start? Do you have to get a degree or anything like that? Because I want to be an animator or anything with stop motion because I really have passion for it, or even work at Disney at least. But I did like a design for Anderson and stuff like that for anybody, for Olympics and stuff like that, for individuals like myself. So I really want to know where to start or where to go, because it sounds like you guys went somewhere to have that experience. And I've been asking around, and sometimes it doesn't exist to be an animator or a you guys what you do, you know what I mean?
You're on the spectrum?
I am on the spectrum.
Just
No, I'm very
after today, just get my information for Marlene, because that's what our school does.
That's awesome. It's
Yeah,
just
so
that I'm trying to find
we'll
connections.
teach you. You don't need to go to like a big college for get a graduate degree, right? Because we're a school that only works with people on the spectrum that help you guys make stop motion movies, make all those movies, and get you really started. So I not to sell myself, but I recommend just contacting us, and Marlene can get you that information.
I would really like that very much, to open the door very much, because I've been asking around, I've been to different programs, just trying to figure out. This is the last option I actually had, just to be in art, film, media, or any circumstances like that. So I am very open-minded too as well. So I would love to work with you, the guy with the cool shirt, whatever your name is. I would love to work with you because you sound like you're very more experienced, and with animation too as well. I know you guys said you don't work backwards, but I would love to learn old techniques or new techniques. I'm very open-minded.
Yeah, we show everything, but yeah, you'll ask Marlene, she'll get you our information.
Okay, my name's Avery Valadez, by the way. Hi.
Oh, and then
there's a lot of people in my class, so probably they have more questions than me. So,
Avery, this is Judy. I'm here in the cloud here. Just if I will put a link for you guys to sign up to be on our mailing list, and each one of you should sign up so that you get information from Autism and Entertainment, because we're all about helping you guys, and we're so thrilled that Tawd's here today and he's focused on this, but we have 20 educational partners that this is what they do. So anyway, I will put a link in the chat and you should sign up.
It's okay.
No, Tawd, I'm thrilled to have you do this. So don't worry about it. We're a growing community. So, okay, Marlene.
Yeah. Let's see. Thomas has had a hand raised for a while. Would you like to ask your question, Thomas?
Yeah. My name's Thomas. I'm more into 2D animation stuff, not stop motion. My question is, well, since I seem to be more familiar with, like, probably better at trying to do character animation, what's the normal length that for one person to fully draw up a character down to the last detail? Like, how long should you normally try to make a character move, if you have any idea? I mean, how long do you usually try to make a single character in clay animation move? What's the normal for that in employment?
It depends on the motion, actually.
Yeah,
I mean, if
you want to jump, it's lengthy. But if you just want to move a finger or something, that's quick, yeah.
Right. So it depends on if you've got a big set and you want to move this character from over here to over here, then that may take a day. If unless he, has a giant, walk, and that's part of his character, that could take a shorter amount of time. So.
Okay. For me, I'm like drawing like a stick line of the movement, then adding like what seems like muscles, and then clothing down to more detail, and then there's the coloring and then the shading, which I am still trying to add the detail, and I've been at it for like somewhere since last year, and I get to a certain point that my mind just can't push on forward, and I have to take like a bunch of days off. I don't even. I'm trying to figure out the right workflow for it. That's been a struggle for me.
A lot of people have their own pace. We all have a very different pace in how quickly or how slowly we get things done. And the only thing that actually matters in all of this is getting that thing done. So if it takes you 3 days or it takes you 4 years, just get it done. And people will pat you on the back because you got it done. If you quit, then you don't get the pat on the back. And you might spend years and then quit. And then what was that years for? So if you spent years, finish it because you'll get the pat on the back. That's my take.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Let's see. Jonathan, do you have another question or comment?
Yeah, I do. I was gonna say that I am a huge fan of stop motion, but my number one favorite stop motion company that inspired me to do it was Aardman. And my favorite show slash project they did was Morph. You can see my background. And of course, since then I've been collecting some toys and little action figures and making my own so I can use them for future stop motion videos I'll be working on soon. And
I love Aardman too. Shaun the Sheep is one of my favorites. Wallace and Gromit.
Yes,
Those
that
are
too.
classic.
I love Wallace and Gromit too.
Yeah. Yeah, those are fantastic.
Did you watch the new one, Vengeance Most Foul?
Yes, I love that movie too.
Cool.
I also love Chicken Run too.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, that is a good one. That's a good one. IKEA, do you have another question?
Yes. So, if you have a toy, and those people were talking about Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like that. I have Lego. Some people talk about Legos, figures, and Hot Wheels toys and stuff like that. Is it legal or illegal to use those toys in a stop motion due to copyright infringement?
Vadim, do you want to say something about that?
I would say I would use your advice or somebody who I think either Richard told me, you told me, just change something a little bit, and it's you can use it, right? Change something. Richard, actually, I remember I made a Ninja Turtle for Nickelodeon. Remember?
Oh right, yeah,
So
yeah.
I made a Ninja Turtle when and I asked him like, what if like I want to like Robot like in my character because I do a graphic novel Robot Ninja. He's all on he's like a water creature and stuff like that, and he meets those Ninja Turtles. What is it okay if I like incorporate him in my story? And he said, yeah, why not? It's not like you're like making money profit on it, but if somebody likes it and wants to buy the story, and then it's a different story. But yeah, you can if you want to do something, do whatever. Don't ask for. What I learned in America, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. Do whatever you want. Just then whatever happens. You might come out yeah.
If you're working with a client, it might be a different story. So I don't know that there's one answer that fits every scenario. And I say this as an alum of Disney Business and Legal Affairs. So I've seen hardcore adherence to copyright law. That's no joke. And I've also worked with the Sonic the Hedgehog community where anything goes. And sometimes the fans are hired to make games and toys and movies and all kinds of other stuff. So if you're making something as a fan tribute, it's usually more likely to be accepted by whoever is the owner. If you're making a fan tribute and just putting it on YouTube and you're not collecting any money for it, you're just doing it for the love of the project, that's one thing. But if you're suddenly collecting money based on somebody else's intellectual property, that's when the waters get murky, and the licensors will come knocking on your door wanting their cut. So yeah, just proceed with caution, I would say. Let's see. I'm checking. Judy, do you want to come in at this point in time and say a few words?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, everybody, for coming to this webinar. I'm so thrilled that we had this wonderful panel who was so helpful. I just wanted to say that I went shopping for other Autism and Entertainment members to see who might want to participate, and I did find 2 others. I haven't heard back from you. but it would be Daniel and Esteban. So if you could answer me in the chat whether you would be interested. But I'd like to give Robert Massarian a chance. I'd like to interview Robert if you would be okay, Robert. So I'm going to ask you to
Judy,
unmute.
that's fine. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so I was looking for people who are members of Autism and Entertainment. Now, it costs money for us to do things. People want our next conference, and it costs money to have a conference, and it costs money to pay certain people to do certain things. And there's 30 of you who could be joining and help us get to that point where we could afford to do another conference. And one of our most active members is Robert Massarian. And, you know, when you pay for a membership, it's $10 a month or $100 a year, and you probably could get Regional Center or Department of Rehab to pay for it. So it wouldn't even cost you any money to help us out. And we're trying to change the world, and changing the world is really hard, especially the world today. But there's also benefits for you. And Robert has been amazing in how he's taken advantage of the program. And so I'm going to just spotlight Robert and just have him talk to us about being an Autism and Entertainment member and some of the things that he's done as a member. Robert, so tell us about it.
Okay, so it's definitely like give me like it's definitely helped me do things like I couldn't do before, like tour for starters, like tour Warner Bros. Pictures Animation and DreamWorks, tour actual animation studios, and like find more tours of like these studios and make these connections and make connections with these and see the facilities and everything. Like that's great, and I'm hoping to look forward to I'm hoping to get more tours, like not just animation, but like not just animation, like not just feature animation, but like TV animation, like live action movies and shows, like or shows like live action movies and live action movies and shows like comic books, video games, toys, like studios like say DC, Marvel, Warner Bros. Pictures, like DC, Marvel, like what else? How do I say like Disney Studios, like how do I say this?
Yeah. And we did go
Activision,
to Disney
EA.
Studios and we saw the rehearsal of a live show beyond Waverly Place, which was amazing. So Robert, and then today you're going to be talking to Tawd after we're done. And you've had private conversations with folks before. Do you learn a lot from having that additional 15 minutes of time alone?
I think yeah, though like how do I put this? Like actually yeah, like I do like mostly about like the mostly over the stuff mostly about like the Aspect contest and like mostly stuff about the Aspect contest, which still trying to like enter my scripts in. As of now, I'm like I'm almost on one script, but I have to think like finish it, then trim it to 11 pages, and we'll be set. Yeah.
Okay, terrific. All right, Marlene, I think I just wanted to check in with Esteban. Are you still out there, Esteban? And Daniel, are you interested in a private conversation after the webinar?
Well, that's something I have to think about.
Okay, and how about you, Daniel? Daniel Delgadillo. All right, maybe not today.
He left. He had to leave.
Okay. All right, Marlene, why don't you finish up? It may be just Tawd today, unless there's somebody out there. Just raise your hand right now if you're interested in either spending a little bit more time with either Kelli or Tamara.
Yeah, one-on-one. Oh, IKEA.
IKEA. Okay, IKEA. Anybody else?
Andreas.
Oh, yes.
Would you?
Yes.
Please. I think Kelli should meet Andres. Kelli, Andres is I've mentored and worked with Andres going on 10 years now.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Like
Andres.
weekly, like so much. You should meet Andres.
Okay, so Andreas, IKEA, and Robert, you stay on after the webinar. And Marlene, just why don't you finish up?
Yeah, well, this has been an amazing panel, to say the least. It sounds so trite because it's been monumental. We've gotten so many different perspectives and tips and just case studies as well. And the questions phenomenal. So, panelists, any parting words? Anything else you would like to impart to the audience?
No, just thank you for having us, having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Kelli. Vadim
Yeah,
sends his
thank you guys.
regards.
Thank you
Vadim's
guys.
phone overheated, so he was kicked off because of his phone, but he sends his regards.
I have some words. If you're making stuff, keep making stuff. You just keep making the next thing. Make a thing, finish that thing, make the next thing. And stop motion can be very, very accessible. There is a platform called Stop Motion Studio. It's free. You can download it. You can use it on your iPhone. You can use it on your iPad. You can just start making stuff with whatever you have in front of you. Just tell your stories because your perspective is so valuable.
I think I have that app. I've been using that too.
Use it.
Yeah, great.
Wait, I have
Good advice.
I'll tell you of a website, you guys, here. No, this is super killer. I always forget to tell everybody. And it's so amazing. These educators made it. I just put it in the link in the chat for everyone.
Oh, great.
It's called cloudstopmotion.com. It's amazing. It's all online. It's totally free. And all you need is your webcam. And they are putting it in schools all across the country. It's really a wonderful group. I am not connected to this one. But having all of my anyone who's doing stop motion to start, we're having them use Cloud Stop Motion because it's a great way to test it out to see if you like it.
Good to know. Good to know.
It's free.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us, everyone in the audience. Major thanks to our panelists, and a few of you are staying after to have 15-minute private conversations and enjoy. And please return. We have another webinar coming up in a month. 1 month from now, we're going to be talking about a case study, actually, of an independent animation studio that built itself around a special project and an artist who is sadly no longer with us, but his memory and his vision live on through his creation and his family. So his family will be talking about the studio that they started in his honor and the project that they're working on. And that is about a month from today, Judy?
Yeah. So it'll be with Cappy Studio, and their project is called Marty's Place. They're working on their pilot. They have quite a few members of neurodivergent animators working on it, as well as people from the industry who are serving as mentors. So it's really an amazing project, and I'm really looking forward to hearing how they made it all happen. So please join us in February for that. And thank you so much, everybody.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Take care, everyone.